Is rock and roll dead? That is the biggest question in today's world of rock and roll, right? Is it dead? No, man, it's not dead. So many people love it. Okay, cool. Man, it can't be dead. You know, when Poison and Def Leppard and them go on tour, they're selling out stadiums. Okay. Kiss played 2 nights in Madison Square Garden, back to back, sold out. It's not dead, man. It's not dead. People love it. It's funny, you know, when Gene Simmons says rock and roll is dead, this is a guy that's selling out those stadiums too. But there's context. He's not saying nobody likes rock and roll. So whenever I see bands like AC/DC that are getting ready to go on tour and they're pushing 80 and they sell out stadiums, they sell out more than what Kiss does. I mean, I really don't know why. You know, I love AC/DC, but I mean, you go and see them live, you know, I don't know. I love AC/DC. I'm not going to knock them. But there's these bands that are real popular, and if you ask them, is rock dead? No. What are you talking about? We're packing out stadiums. We're getting to tour on a first class jet and first class everything. There's comfort. We have massage therapists, nutritionists, anything we want. So is rock dead? No. So I don't know who says that. I'm sorry, Gene Simmons, but you're wrong. You know, it's easy to take a little clip and ask somebody a question about it. But the real thing that was meant when saying rock is dead is the scene. So it's easy for people that has never been in a scene, that doesn't know what it's like to be a no-name band, no-name original band, selling CDs or cassettes or whatever it is nowadays out of the back of your car, and with that hope of, man, I'm going to make it one day. There's a scene. All these people are leaving their homes and checking out my band, and I'm a nobody. Look up how much albums Motley Crue sold out of the back of their car before they were signed. Sometimes record labels had to be like, well, we gotta sign them. They're selling too many albums on their own to not sign them. Then there was levels. It was like a job. You know, you start out on the floor and you work your way up. A lot of bands back then would start out as openers, then they would move into that second slot. Then, you know, if there's a third slot, they move there, and then bam, your second, third album comes out. It's a hit. You've seasoned. You've grown as writers. Look at the Def Leppard story and how they grew as writers over time, and how they got really good at structuring songs and harmonies, and how to write pop or hit songs. Also, they had Mutt Lange. Who's the big producer nowadays? Are bands? Name me 10 bands that have came out in the past decade. Oh, Ghost, oh, Greta Van Fleet. And then they'll start naming bands that were around 20 years ago, when there was a scene, when there was an ability to make money in music in an original sense. But you can make it big on TikTok. Listen, you can also win the lottery as well. Okay, so I'm not saying the one band doesn't squeak by, but the times of having multiple bands, the times of there being hope, the times of all of that is gone. The structure is gone. And when you had bands like Hinder and them that come out, there were new bands that made it big at the time. You had MySpace. And I don't think people realize how big and important MySpace was to music, and how it was the at that moment's MTV. Half of you, if you're young, you don't even know what MTV is, unless you're thinking the show's 16 and pregnant and whatever. But music, in the sense of grabbing all the rock soldiers out there and putting them on the scene, it's dead. Now, on this channel, I'm going to give so many, what I think the trends are, what I think is going to happen, my thoughts on so many things involving rock and roll from the business perspective, like why rock died, who killed rock and roll. Um, I'm gonna give that's what I know, so that's what I'm gonna talk about. But rock is dead, and of course it's not dead to AC/DC. Of course, it's not dead to the big bands, but it is dead in the sense of we're going to go downtown Nashville and see 20 original bands, and there is a hope in hell that they're going to get a record contract and a song that is a hit. How are you going to get a hit song? There's so much music. And I want to talk about that. I'm going to talk about AI being introduced into Universal and my thoughts on the future of music, future of songwriting, where it's going to go, how things are going to change by 2027, 2028. I might even tell you how new bands can make money. And I'm going to stop right there because I don't want to get into it because those are all future videos. But yes, rock and roll is dead. Rock bands are not selling millions of albums no more. There are no hit songs. Yesterday it made me feel bad because LA Guns is on tour and I didn't really know that they put out a new album recently. So now I'm over here like, oh, I gotta go check it out and I gotta go order it. You know, I still find myself ordering CDs from old bands. You know, like even albums that came out 20 years ago. It's like, oh, they've upgraded it. It's got better sound and 3 new tracks that are demos and interviews and pictures you've never seen before. Well, sign me up. $25 CD. I don't do records. Not against them. Not a hater. Just I'm already invested. And if I do records, then I've got to buy almost everything all over again. And I do have a huge record collection. And every now and then I will grab a record. But I'm already invested in CDs like Blu-rays. I'm not jumping to 4K. Okay, I buy my Blu-rays. But anyway, rock is dead. And I love rock and roll. And it breaks my heart to say that. So I'm not saying that to hurt your feelings. And in this modern day and age, we can't. If you hurt somebody's feelings, they will deny the truth. Okay, so remove your feelings. Unless there is an MTV, unless there is a way for new music to be popular and not free, there will not be an infrastructure to grow new bands, to grow these songs, and to have these new songs be a soundtrack to anyone's life. So if you want to fix that, you want to revive rock music, okay, well, AC/DC, Kiss, all them, instead of just making money for yourself, figure out an infrastructure. Start having new bands while you're setting up and people are buying your t-shirts. Have new bands play their music. Oh, there's an idea. But guys, unless a song becomes the soundtrack to your life in some way, whether it's a movie, whether it's a video game, whether it's a car ride with your friend and they're jamming it in their car, if that song doesn't hold a place in a memory for you, then it's never gonna mean anything, and you're not gonna want to buy it because all the best songs are already written.